Welcome back to the Pach-Attack. From the forums from Sieghart. Do you think Microsoft adding free-to-play style purchasing of experience money item packs to every single game is going to be a good, profitable idea? Will it put more people off buying the games? You know, that's a really good question. I mean, I think the truth is that if you pay for a game, you would love to be able to have the complete game experience for the money you paid for the game. And so, you know, people don't want to pay 60 bucks for a game and then find that they are at a competitive disadvantage where they don't spend another $10 throughout the game. So what you end up with is kind of added value items that don't really help the gameplay at all. So, you know, you can put a piece of bacon on your weapon in Call of Duty and the bacon wrap. People paid $2 for that and they think it's really fun, but it doesn't make your gun shoot any differently. It just makes it stink like bacon or whatever, makes it slippery. I don't know what it does. I don't know. I think that you really are kind of right on the edge of angering people if you sell someone the ability to, you know, restore their health more quickly or level up more quickly. So I don't know the answer, but I think that they have to be very careful and only put in those types of items. And I don't know what they're doing right now. I haven't really paid for anything yet in a game. I haven't seen anything yet in a game that would make the game experience, you know, give the player a competitive advantage. If they don't do that, I think it's fine. People are happy to pay to customize your weapon or do whatever. That's fun. From the forum from Game Dreamer, hey Pack. Could you differentiate the publisher-developer relationships when we talk about first, second, and third-party development? Particularly, I'd like to know what the typical financial agreements are for each type. First, second, third. So first party, it refers to a console manufacturer, they call those guys platform holders, that's Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, making software that appears only on their console. So Nintendo software is all, Nintendo-made software is all first-party software, only on Nintendo. Sony-made software is all first-party, only on Sony consoles, and Microsoft first-party, only on Microsoft consoles. Third-party means that the game is made for a console by somebody unrelated to the publisher, and the property is owned by, I said the publisher, somebody unrelated to the console manufacturer, and the game is owned by somebody other than the console manufacturer. So all EA titles are third-party, made for Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo platforms, and not many for Nintendo anymore. All Activision titles are third-party, all Take-Two titles are third-party. If the publisher owns the studio that makes the game, that's a third-party game. If the developer of a game for either a publisher or a manufacturer makes it under contract, he's a second-party developer. So he's making the game and selling it either to the first party or the third party. The third party, in turn, would publish it on the first party's platform. So first, second, third party. Financial arrangements, it's pretty interesting. Prior to 2000, about 2/3 of games were second party, and 1/3 were made by captive studios, whether they're owned by the first parties or the third parties. After 2000, the publishers figured out that they could exploit their workers, and this rolls back to our union question. They could make more money if they owned the assets and they paid the developers a salary and a bonus. So, you know, think about a game like Call of Duty. I don't think Activision planned when it set out to make Call of Duty to sell 25 million units a year. I think they would have been very happy with 10. And so, you know, they compensated their developers well, but obviously if a game sells 25 million units, there's a ton of money there, and they're not paying the developers. Contrast Call of Duty at 25 million with Grand Theft Auto at 25 million. The Rockstar guys cut a deal where they get, my estimate, 30% of the profit on the game. No way do the Call of Duty guys get 30% of the profit on the game, not even close. So Activision is keeping most of the profit, Take-Two is paying out a big chunk of the profit, but you know, the Call of Duty guys are interchangeable, as we've discovered, between Treyarch and Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, and frankly, Infinity Ward with Vince and Jason, and Infinity Ward without. So, you know, Activision manages the process by not giving the studios too much power, and so they don't have to pay them as much because the studios say, we'll walk, and Activision says, don't let the door hit you in the butt. Take-Two, on the other hand, and again, it's nobody's fault, I mean, but Take-Two just kind of grew into this company with these evil geniuses, the Hausers, who run Rockstar. They are frickin' geniuses, and they have insisted that they be compensated. And I think that, you know, Take-Two believes, and I agree, I believe, they are so essential to the process. You can't say, get lost, Hausers, we'll have, you know, have the NBA 2K guys work on Grand Theft Auto. It wouldn't work. It would not be the same game. Call of Duty, you know, is more of a commodity. I think that's probably true, you know, of Madden. I think that's probably true of FIFA. You know, the developers don't have that much power. And I think it's really pretty much true of every game at every studio, with the exception of Take-Two. I think the publisher, I think Take-Two, the developers have a lot of power. And so their financial arrangements are a little different. But anyway, a captive studio, the publisher makes all the profit. A third-party studio, or second-party studio, excuse me, those guys cut the best deal they can cut. So there are some second-party studios like Crytek that make games, you know, for first-party like Rise. And I think they were just trying to keep their people employed. You know, they're a big studio. I think they're 700, 800 people. They have a big payroll. I mean, 700 people, they got to come up with $70 million a year just to turn the lights on and keep everybody, you know, employed. So they need projects. So that's why they work on Crysis and, you know, for EA and Rise for Microsoft. There are other second-party studios. Steam, you know, Valve has been one. I mean, they go both ways. That just, you know, Epic is another. They make so much money from the handful of games that they make that they can go a year or two without making anything, and they don't care. So you don't see Valve in a big rush to get Half-Life 3 out, or Portal 3, I guess would be the next one, or Left 4 Dead 4. What's the next, Left 4 Dead 3? Yeah, they're all threes. You don't see them in a rush to get any of them out, and it's because they're rolling in dough from Steam, and they just don't need to. And that's great. I think actually it's good for consumers that, you know, you have very wealthy developers who are more interested in making art. I think it's actually great for consumers that the Rockstar guys get such a big chunk of the profits, because they're not profit driven. They are art driven. They try to make the best game possible. So consumers win, you know, when that happens. And obviously when the publisher keeps all the profit, you know, that sometimes results in the games not being so good. You know, look at EA's NBA game, oh my God. Look at Medal of Honor, oh my God. In any case, typical financial arrangements are pay the developers as little as possible, and when the developers have power, they can get more money. Thanks for joining us on this week's Pach-Attack. If you have a question, please submit it to the link below, or if you'd like to submit a question to me on Twitter, address it to @MichaelPachter. If you'd like it on the show, add the hashtag AskPach, and we'll try to get to as many of those on the next round of Pach-Attacks as we can. If it's like a hotel, you know, that they make you fill it out on the registration card, it's like, I don't want to hear from you and your specials.
How was your stay? That's just
right. I don't want that. Yeah. But if it's, you know, if it's somebody like it's my Xbox account and I actually want to know if I got like a free download code or something, sure, they get my real email address.
Ooh, Xbox gets that privilege. Nice.
They send me free shit all the time.